Mike Tyson is considered one of the greatest boxers in history, perhaps the most talented heavyweight of all time. The potential of Iron Mike was so immense that he dominated the ring for many years. However, despite his toughness and ruthlessness, he faced defeats during his boxing career. Today, let's talk about those moments and what led to them. So be sure to watch this video until the end and don't forget to hit the like button. By the late 80s, Mike had already become a true star. He was the undisputed world champion in the heavyweight division, winning almost all of his fights by knockout. Mike Tyson was no longer a modest guy. Fame and enormous wealth engulfed the boxer, but with success came shadows. Even the audience grew tired of Tyson's swift victories. Ticket sales for his fights declined because few wanted to pay for a ticket and witness only a few rounds. Tyson also went through a divorce with Robin Givens. During this time in 1989, he wasn't too concerned. He spent a lot of time at parties and with women who lacked high social responsibility. In essence, Tyson abandoned his training. His fight with Donovan Ruddock in November was canceled due to Tyson's illness, but later he admitted that he simply didn't want to box or train. The next fight was scheduled for 1990 against James "Buster" Douglas, who was an underdog at 42-1 odds. Tyson didn't learn from the cancellation of the previous fight, and the preparation for the bout with Douglas also fell apart. He detailed this in his book Undisputed Truth. On February 11, 1990, Tyson entered the ring against Douglas. There was an unusual atmosphere before the fight. Tyson himself appeared lethargic, some claimed due to antidepressants, and his opponent seemed entirely different, as if unafraid of the man standing opposite him, unlike many others.
Is a conventional fighter who likes to work behind a stiff left jab to the body against Douglas here.
Tyson tried to start the fight in his usual manner, moving forward, attempting to close the distance to his advantage.
Buster Douglas is incredible because he's...
But Douglas stood firm under the champion's pressure. The challenger began countering with stiff jabs, noticeably dampening Iron Mike's aggression.
Keep in mind that Carl Williams looked pretty loose and relaxed against Tyson.
Gradually, Douglas began to take the offensive and wasn't afraid to engage in combinations.
Watch the right hand of Buster Douglas.
Named Mike Williams on the undercard of Tyson Spinks and floored about 45 seconds into the bout. Octavio Meran in the early rounds with the left jab.
See, Mike has
Douglas. Tyson landing the jab. He went to the body in round 5. The Tyson, he has not yet gone to the body.
Pretty good job here.
Another right hand lead by Douglas.
Right in.
When a similar scenario played out in the second and third rounds, it became clear that Tyson would have a tough time, and Douglas might be having the best fight of his life.
Punch stat computations, 22 punches to 8.
As opposed to the one big punch.
Fighters such as James Tillis and another right hand lead lands for Douglas.
Douglas not afraid. Douglas firing away. That right was high. Came back with a nice short left, a left jab. Came up with a right, a good right uppercut, and 2 more good rights by Douglas. I don't think I've ever
punch stat computations in the first 2 rounds.
That jeopardizes you. Put you in a lot of trouble.
Douglas accurate with the jab.
Here's Tyson's corner saying, be smart, work your way in. Another good right, but Tyson.
Douglas's chin, near the middle of the chest. Douglas with another
back up. What's Douglas doing? He's not allowed the right answer.
At the beginning of each round, Tyson showed activity, but with each passing round, his periods of activity diminished more quickly. Mike's situation became precarious.
And maybe that's what he's feeling.
In the last 2 weeks, he's been bothered by respiratory illness. You have to wonder how far he can go. He was extremely close to his mother. Right hand by Douglas right on Tyson's chin. Here today.
Yes. Good left hook by
Douglas
Douglas.
again with a left and a right.
In the fifth segment, Tyson's situation was compounded by an issue with his eye, which began to close after a precise attack from his opponent.
There's a right hand.
Tyson turned things around against Frank Bruno. Right hand by Douglas lands. Another right hand.
He throws.
But despite these developments, the champion still had a chance for a favorable outcome.
Throw an uppercut. And Tyson appears ready to throw.
And that is from the
Douglas
right.
stay there. He's back.
The combination which... And the champion looks frustrated.
Would be in an uproar right now.
Here they... What it saw with the left uppercut. Time when Liston was regarded as invincible.
This dynamic terror that we're used to seeing.
As we saw between rounds demonstrated the huge. By punch count statistics, Tyson is averaging only 23 punches a round. Another solid straight. Everybody from Don King on this performance, I think you'd have to say yes.
Douglas also noticeably tired after the middle of the bout, and in the 8th round, Mike found a moment for one of his signature moves, an uppercut.
Initiator. Here he's against the ropes. I've never seen.
And there's a right hand
For
uppercut.
this round. Settle down. Settle down. Now perhaps he's trying to bait him to come in and to relax, because that was the effect of it. Came off the ropes with that.
The timekeeper was Japanese, the referee Mexican. They spoke different languages and couldn't synchronize the count. When the referee counted 5, Douglas was actually on the canvas for 8 seconds. For him, it was a long count. Indeed, even upon closer inspection of the video, Douglas was on the canvas for at least 12 seconds. So even in such a disadvantaged state, Tyson could have won that bout. In fact, Douglas was saved simply by the referee's incorrect count.
Left hand land just missed with the uppercut on the break. And there goes Tyson. Solid right cross.
Nevertheless, during the break between rounds, James recovered, while Mike seemed to fade even more.
And a right. Tyson is wobbling. Tyson needs the ropes for support. Douglas wailing away. Solid right hand by Douglas.
The climax came in the 10th round. Midway through the round, Douglas started with a light jab. Tyson didn't react and simply absorbed the hits. Luring Tyson in with a front hand punch, Douglas unexpectedly struck a powerful right uppercut that staggered the champion. Subsequently, Douglas unleashed a flurry of punches that sent Tyson to the canvas.
Willingly just to try to get in the shot that will finish things in.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut by Douglas, richly deserved.
Well, Douglas did well. A lot of guys have done, a few guys have done in the past. They've hurt Tyson and didn't take advantage of it. Buster Douglas, inspired by the death of his mother, came on very strong.
And all of us said no, that wasn't really possible. But indeed it was possible, and it happened. And an inspired Buster Douglas thoroughly dominated Mike Tyson and courageously came.
The champion tried to rise. First, he bit onto his mouthpiece and attempted to regain his vertical position. However, all these efforts were in vain. Firstly, Mike couldn't make it within 10 seconds, and secondly, even when on his feet, Tyson was unstable. Thus, Douglas secured victory with a brutal knockout, a victory that is still considered one of the most sensational moments in boxing history.
Finally, the two greatest fighters in the world are meeting each other.
He knows what he had coming for him.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Finally, they can have their personal grudges aired and expressed.
The first clash between two American legends took place 27 years ago. Strictly speaking, Tyson and Holyfield were supposed to meet back in 1990, but Mike first sensationally lost to Buster Douglas and then ended up in prison.
The situation that occurred was it's totally ridiculous, and I didn't hurt anyone or do anything to anyone. I love women, my mother's a woman, I respect them as well. And of course, every time I trust one and get involved with one in a certain way like this, something happens, so I'm confused, I'm just lost from the whole issue that happened today.
These charges are in connection with the sexual assault.
Therefore, boxing fans had to wait until 1996 when both athletes were far from their best form as compared to before. Tyson had reclaimed several titles, but his speed and even knockout power had diminished. Holyfield had twice lost to Riddick Bowe, after which many began to discount him. But Tyson was still seen as a sure bet. The odds for his victory in the fight against Evander were 1-22. Iron Mike's fans simply didn't want to acknowledge that their idol had lost some of his skills after prison. On the other hand, Tyson remained quite intimidating. He needed only 8 rounds for 4 victories after returning from prison, a legendary knockout artist. Most believed that Holyfield would surely succumb to the raw power of his opponent. But Evander didn't think so.
Last year, and we'll see if he's overly cautious. Early brawling tactics. A straight right hand, a quick right by Tyson.
Clean right hand, a straight punch.
In his tradition, from the first seconds, Tyson aggressively lunged at his opponent.
Coming in. That's the game plan, but he's getting hit.
The best knockout artist on the planet delivered blow after blow, yet Holyfield not only defended skillfully, but also landed harsh counterattacks.
Boxing match. And it's going to be one shot, and that's it. Hand by Tyson. What he's doing is kind of smart. He's trying to smother. He can't fight inside with Mike. I don't think anybody.
Swing and a miss by Tyson.
Two guys. This is what kind of competitor he is.
Tyson against the ropes.
Thought that Mike was hurt. Looks like he had a good shot.
Combination by...
Evander's psychology was intact too. Unlike most of Mike's opponents, he wasn't afraid of the scandalous boxer's attacking power.
The tail end of my honeymoon. The November 8th. It's just going to be long. Holyfield's fight. He's made it a championship.
Round number 3.
Overwhelmed Holyfield.
Yes, Holyfield took a beating, but it didn't stop him from meticulously sticking to his fight plan.
But I'll tell you, he is
His strategy was simple. Evander increasingly seized the initiative and, in dangerous moments for himself, smartly used clinching and elements of dirty boxing.
badly, or they let him have some in a round.
The toughest round for Holyfield was the 5th, when Tyson literally turned him into a punching bag but failed to knock him down.
They got Evander's attention. Force, the force of his blows, and good.
Tyson unleashing uppercuts to the body.
This is how he hurts his opponent.
Despite previously being harshly knocked out by Riddick Bowe, this time Holyfield stood like a rock. This unpleasantly surprised Iron Mike, who was starting to tire.
Getting it done, finding the time. Use that up that jab more. Evander's punches no longer have the steam that they had at the beginning. This power stuff.
What takes the legs out?
The power stuff is coming on now. Can't see back.
Cut, not looking good. Above the left eye of Mike. After 4 rounds.
And in the 6th round, Tyson ended up knocked down himself.
Feels closing this round like a champion, like the overachieving warrior that he is. And here comes the knockdown. Now the knockdown is a surprise. I think.
Mike got up, but the outcome of the fight was already determined.
35 seconds left for the first time. And you know what happened there?
Evander Holyfield is letting it all hang out.
Evander completely took control and began openly pounding the legend. Now Tyson was the punching bag, something that had never happened to him before.
It's where corners say Tokyo all over again. Intelligence in this fight.
Again, after the end of the 4th round.
Sure, periodically Mike fought back with terrifying flurries, which only hastened his loss of strength.
Tyson fights at such a frantic pace, and you're pointed out. Look out now as they come together.
I know it's even worse too, Ferdy. You'll see it again. He doesn't see it. His head turns aside, and it just, he's got a headbutt and hurt. Only word I can tell you. He's not established. Evander ducks his head to not catch a shot.
Frustrated, he unleashed a flurry there, but Holyfield
He does in all fights. If that's the case, the guy that's tired here is Tyson. The guy that looks warm, chipper, and good. Nothing fights, and he is not ready to fight here. It was a different alley.
Holyfield has always known in the past what tools to bring out again.
What were the odds on a draw? Be wondering what have I got to do to get this guy. Really handicapped. He rolls with his right hand. There you see him again.
Oh, straight right hand by Evander
Any kind of boxing and trying to land that one big so much that it's getting to the point where either he gets the knockout or he's going to win this fight. If he won every round, you can only get a
vulnerable. Less than 3 rounds to go.
In the 10th round, Holyfield again floored his opponent with an incredible punch through the guard.
He's going for it.
Oh, Tyson's in trouble.
At a time, you can see that's the one that did it. See, as he came.
He didn't manage to finish Tyson off immediately, but did so in the next round. A visibly shaken Tyson took blow after blow without attempting to defend himself until the referee stepped between the boxers. Holyfield's victory by technical knockout.
Keeping that distance we talked about, firing a shot.
It's no wonder that the Tyson and Holyfield bout received 2 awards at once, Fight of the Year and Upset of the Year. The audience was so thrilled that an immediate rematch was announced.
In terms of the 2 losses that you've had, were the factors that led to those 2 losses the same in both? Was there a lack of preparation on your part in both fights and an overconfidence that led to?
Maybe so, yeah. But I'm just, we're all human and we make mistakes in our life, and sometimes in my life we just don't make the frosting of the top of the cake. Sometimes we just don't do as well as we could, or we just fail, and the best man wins. I'm just always here, and I'm always willing to do my best. And I'm never dissatisfied most of the time because I tried, even in losing efforts. And even though I perhaps didn't prepare properly, I don't quit. I take my beating like a man. But I'm gonna keep trying and try to knock him out till I lose. That's just the way I am. Either I destroy him or he destroy me.
And on June 28, 1997, one of the most scandalous rematch matches and fights in boxing history took place. As it's known, it ended with Tyson's disqualification for biting a part of Holyfield's ear in the 3rd round. This happened because Evander repeatedly and intentionally butted Tyson with his head, infuriating the legend. Moreover, there's a version that Tyson wanted to avoid another defeat this way. By that point, after 3 rounds, he was losing on all judges' scorecards with a score of 29-26. Tyson was considered a confident favorite in both the first and second matches. The frenzy around the fight was incredible. All 16,000 tickets sold out in a matter of hours, and the pay-per-view was bought by nearly 2 million people.
Fight is almost palpable.
He said he's going to be bobbing, weaving, he's going to be jabbing.
Right by Mike Tyson, shrugged off by Evander.
The boxers made an effort not to disappoint the audience, starting to fight actively right from the first seconds. Tyson, as usual, relied on power, and Holyfield had excellent counterattacks. Unfortunately, Evander was just as willing to use his favorite tactics like headbutts and twisting arms.
This is going to be a war.
At the start of the 2nd round, Iron Mike suffered a cut. His opponent cleverly used his rock-like head.
Didn't see him the first. Bill's lead is a cut around the right eye.
Another look at it, Evander just kind of dives. There it is, right there. Puts his head down and comes straight in and hits Mike right in the corner of his right eye.
Next, Holyfield simply hung all his weight on the contender, who started complaining to the referee. However, Mills Lane didn't react, which only motivated Tyson further.
One through the ropes.
Before the end of the 4th round, the fighters rule the technical. After the end of the 4th, they go to the car. Holyfield
Last time.
and he's got a pretty good glance in. Mills Lane taking charge, holding on.
In the 3rd round, Tyson rushed forward with a flurry of punches that managed to break Holyfield's defense effectively.
Again showing his strength, a sense of urgency.
If he can keep that up for the whole round.
Holyfield's reaction was expected. He again went into a clinch, all the while not shying away from trying to headbutt his opponent.
Good duck under move by Tyson. Left hook shoot. Mike Tyson.
Nice right hand by Mike on the inside.
Ooh, a low blow by Holyfield with the left hook and to the head of Holyfield.
An enraged Tyson lost control. He bit into his opponent's right ear with his teeth.
That bite. Now here's the bite. Keep your eye on Mike. See, Mike has just... See, look at him. You can see it. You can see it. There it is.
After which Holyfield began jumping and spinning around, holding his head. It turned out that Iron Mike bit off a part of his ear, which he promptly spit onto the canvas, and the judge handed it to the corner. After the fight, they actually sewed the piece back on.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Well, first he had a parachute drop.
Despite Holyfield's blood and complaints, the fight continued. The referee merely deducted 2 points from Tyson. And then Evander again hit his opponent with his head, this time precisely on the eyebrow. The enraged Tyson then latched onto Holyfield's left ear, this time.
Mike was having his best friend again. He did it again.
Evander jumped again in pain, but the referee didn't react, after which Mike began landing powerful blows to the champion's head.
I saw that one. That was right clear. It's a miracle he didn't get bit back. I'll tell you what, this is unbelievable.
Holyfield was saved by the bell signaling the end of the round. A stunned Holyfield refused to come out for the next round. Lane examined his bloodied ears, noticed bite marks, and made the decision to disqualify Tyson. After that, a new wave of rage engulfed the controversial boxer. He lunged at Holyfield, aiming to finish him off for good. It took 20 security guards with great effort to stop Tyson, who was throwing punches left and right. The disturbances lasted for several minutes.
Resorting to biting tactics.
Why did I bite off part of Holyfield's ear? At that moment, I was ready to kill him. I was beside myself with anger. He kept butting me with his head constantly. I lost control. The fight plan flew out of my head. Would I do it again? No, I hope never again. But I don't rule out that I could do it again. If Holyfield continued doing the same things for which he got bitten, I would bite him again, Tyson later recounted. After Tyson's defeat, he was fined $3 million and had his boxing license revoked. However, it was reinstated a couple of years later. The commission took into account that Tyson bit due to dirty boxing executed by Holyfield. Despite the messy ending, the Tyson-Holyfield rematch was recognized as the event of the year. 2 losses to Holyfield made the public believe that Mike's career was over. However, strong financial problems lured Tyson into the ring throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s. Tyson took steps to bring more discipline into his sports and personal life. He parted ways with Don King amid a flurry of lawsuits. He got married, this time to a pediatrician. His training regimen became more consistent, and he made a comeback to the ring. Despite these positive steps, Mike Tyson's public behavior became increasingly angry and irrational. In March 1999, he spent some time in prison after a road rage incident. To Lennox Lewis, Tyson addressed the following phrase.
I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
In response, Lewis stated that Mike Tyson had set a time-delayed bomb. At a press conference in January 2002, where the fight between Tyson and Lewis was announced, a brawl erupted between the fighters, during which Tyson bit Lewis on the leg.
You see what I'm saying? Look what he's doing. Look, he's putting lettuce. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. Look at that.
Naturally, the animosity mostly emanated from Iron Mike, while Lennox simply activated a defensive reaction. And so, in the summer of 2002, the most profitable match at that time in boxing history took place. The ring saw the strongest heavyweights of the era, putting an end to the great trio of Tyson, Lewis, Holyfield. Despite the brightest press conference and everything surrounding the match, the actual fight, which took place on June 8, 2002, turned out to be predictable. Lewis entered the fight as the favorite. No one denied Tyson's insane physical power and the possibility of a knockout, but in the long run, Lennox looked more preferable. He needed to withstand Iron Mike's initial onslaught, let him exhaust himself, and then calmly outbox him. And that's what happened.
Lennox loses jab, kicking Mike Tyson, popping Mike's head up, and his fighting wants to lean back. That would be the product of Lewis's jab. The man to do it against. That's where Lewis was holding.
Tyson entered with a huge desire to knock out Lewis early in the fight. Mike lunged at the champion in his style, used his favorite swaying movement, and tried to find Lewis's head. The Brit tied up his opponent in a clinch, trying to drain as much of Tyson's energy as possible.
Mike is resorting to slow. Lennox Lewis is having his way. Mike doesn't start to put some hurt back on Lennox. With Tyson hurt.
Mike lasted for 3 rounds. Afterward, the initiative was completely on the British side, who outboxed Tyson from a distance with jabs and 1-2s, not letting him get close. In the 7th round, Lennox won in punches with a score of 31-4. And in the 8th, Lewis ended the fight prematurely. First, Lewis sent Tyson to the canvas with a powerful uppercut. Mike continued, but Lennox caught him with a right, and Mike found himself on the floor again. However, this time, he couldn't get up before the referee's count. Lennox Lewis secured victory by technical knockout in the 8th round, defended his championship titles, and claimed the vacant The Ring magazine champion belt. Unfortunately, this fight took place when Lennox was 36 and Mike was 35. They had big names, hence the excessive interest in the bout. But let's be honest, Tyson was no longer the same person everyone knew. After being released from prison, Mike couldn't regain his phenomenal form. If Tyson and Lewis had fought before 1991, Lennox's chances would have been catastrophically low. But in 2002, Lewis maintained a much better physical form, was ready to go the distance, whereas Mike was facing financial difficulties and stepped into the fight for a paycheck. His chances of winning were almost non-existent. In the summer of 2004, Tyson stepped into the ring after a 17-month hiatus. Everyone speculated what kind of Tyson would show up. He appeared extremely calm, which served him poorly. Mike was himself. Well, not quite. If Tyson were truly himself, Williams would have fallen even from at least one of the 5 powerful punches he received. The Briton stood, occasionally attempting to initiate an attack.
There's the bell, and that could be a huge mistake. See how effectively he can do it.
In the first round, Mike Tyson had the upper hand, troubling his opponent several times with strong hooks and uppercuts. Then the fight leveled out, and in the second round, neither opponent had the advantage. In the third round, referee Dennis Alfred deducted 2 points from Williams for hitting after the break and body slamming.
Getting nailed with some big shots, throwing his own blood on the head was not intentional. Well, he took a point away for something. Confusion reigns here in round 3. The referee never said. Oh, a left hook to the neck by Mike Tyson. By Dennis Alfred. Oh, what a...
In the fourth round, the Englishman sent Tyson to a knockout with a series of punches.
He's trying to enter Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, and he's having his way. Firing some more. Big right hand by Danny. Down. There was very little sign that Tyson was going to get up. He did finally struggle up after.
Iron Mike fell in the ring and couldn't get up before the referee's count. Mike Tyson left the ring without any comments, while Williams stated that he was ready for another fight with Tyson or to fight for championship belts, according to major versions. The reason for this unexpected defeat for everyone later emerged. In the first round, Mike suffered a serious knee injury. A few days after the fight, Tyson underwent surgery and spent several weeks in a cast. By 2005, it was evident to everyone that all that remained of Mike Tyson was his name and appearance. The substance had irreversibly changed. After losing to Danny Williams, Mike Tyson decided to test fate once more by agreeing to fight the little-known British boxer Kevin McBride. Clearly, the main motivation behind this decision was an extreme need for money, but Tyson himself claimed that money had nothing to do with it. He was simply ready to fight for the championship title again. Between these losses, there was still a victory over Clifford Etienne, but Tyson was helped there by a lucky punch within the first minute of the fight.
Right away, Etienne is not, definitely not intimidated, but he is down from a cracking right hand!
It was clear that Mike's attempt at a comeback was an agony, an attempt to turn back time. Common sense suggested that nothing good would come of it, but millions of fans of the legendary boxer hoped that he would come out and show once again how he could knock people down. Especially considering that the opponent seemed appropriate. It could have been a final salute, a display of strength for farewell. McBride played the role of a punching bag. Few people knew him outside of Ireland. He had a decent record, 34 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw, but he hadn't fought any well-known boxers, instead losing to journeyman fighters. Ideally, he should never have fought Tyson, but by then, Mike was far from the top, so he had to agree to such an opponent. The fight took place on June 11, 2005. The audience fervently supported Tyson, but there was indifference in Mike's eyes. He was where he didn't want to be.
It's time right now. Last 4 or 5 rounds and hope Tyson tired. Kind of working the inside. We let him tie up. McBride's trainer, Goody Petronelli, Danny Williams against Tyson. Throw our eye. I don't think he's worried at all.
From the very first rounds, it was clear that he lacked sharpness and aggression in his actions. He looked far from convincing and couldn't cause any significant trouble to his opponent, although he was almost always ahead on points.
Not artistic, but competitive. Final 10 seconds of the first round. In awe of Mike Tyson. Not to be a factor.
You know, McBride, for Mike Tyson, of course, he has the kind of power that can change that he does throw. And that's part of the defensive liability.
He does have power.
On the inside because he can small and long. Kevin McBride, as you can see, hardly a textbook puncher.
A long time ago. Is he reverting?
Tyson reinforced his advantage in the fourth round with several successful attacks to McBride's head and body, but Mike couldn't capitalize on it.
Doesn't make for an exciting fight, but look out, it's now landing with a little more regularity and harder and cleaner by Tyson. He bites the glove and comes around. Right with the jab. Tyson.
The body work of Tyson has been
right hand. Did not have full impact. Also going to the forearm. Lumbering giant of a heavyweight.
Like Tyson, not throwing too many punches.
And McBride
saw this against Danny Williams.
Tyson noticeably tired and in the 6th round began to act dirty. First, he attempted to twist McBride's right hand and then earned 2 penalty points for an overtly low head attack, resulting in a fairly serious cut for the Irishman. However, Mike couldn't take advantage of this. By the end of this round, Mike found himself on the canvas after a wrestling move from McBride. Mike Tyson sat on the floor for a long time looking weakened and bewildered, then he struggled to get up and slowly made his way to his corner. He didn't come out for the 7th round, refusing to continue the fight. After this, Tyson announced the end of his career.
I'm just sorry I let everybody down. I just don't have this in my heart anymore. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my appearance. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah, that's most likely. I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fighters.
At the 49th WBC annual convention in Las Vegas, Mike Tyson was included in the Guinness Book of Records for the most rapid knockouts and for becoming the youngest heavyweight world champion. Despite all the defeats, Mike Tyson remains a true boxing legend.